transparent because the media's got to be media. They always need to do what they need to do, which is to get more and more people to, to understand them and to look at the issues. But at the same time, what's really happening, as I said before, is we're 100% transparent because we have faith in the region, we understand the region, we know none of this, nobody wants this to happen. Any of this is really unfortunate, right? At the same time, as I said before, these are very smart people here. They understand what's important, which is life has to go on. And that's what's going on. It's continuing, it's working, customers are happy, they do ask questions, they want to understand. Of course, every company needs to have a BCP plan. They want to know that there's business continuity, they want to know in case anything happened, there's backup and so on. But it's just like you need backup for your iPhone. Same thing, right? So you tell people that, sure, I have backup for my iPhone, so what else do you expect? But you're not going to throw away the phone just because there's a chance you're going to lose the data. So it's important to understand that, give them all the plan they need to understand, and we've been working and please, work very closely with the customer. This is the time that they trust you even more. Once you build that bond with them, they're going to rely on you more and more. This is how you build that relationship with your customer.
And I can add to that, I think we've met with more CEOs and boards over the last 11 months than the past. It's probably actually a benefit for us to build that bond, build that trust, build that transparency. One thing I have learned is, I'm sorry for any media in the room, but it's terrible. The news is not accurate, as we're both saying. You go on the ground and you don't see anything. People go to work every day, they go to restaurants, live their lives. Exactly, so way over-exaggerated. We can elaborate here for a long time on that. We've seen no disruption. We've seen growth with our clients in Ukraine. I'm sure we all have. So, in Ukraine, for me, if I had to make the decision I made 6 years ago as a company to go to Ukraine, I would do it again today. It's not changed.
No, thanks, gentlemen. I think what I wanted to do here, just to set the stage for the rest of the conference, is to get, let's get the war discussion behind us. As you can hear from our colleagues here, it's not making an impact on the business environment and I think it's important to understand it's the people who know Ukraine and are working with Ukraine can work through it. I am still a little bit concerned about kind of that next level. If we're going to increase the Ukrainian export to the numbers that Roman was talking about, I think we have some work to do in terms of getting other people comfortable with it as well. Let me maybe turn the discussion to a little bit of a different topic now. Now getting into this outsourcing discussion a little bit more directly. And Brian, maybe I'll ask you, why, what questions should our clients be asking about Ukraine and what type of possibilities are there for outsourcing? We looked at the sectors that were listed, and IT was listed as a sector in and of itself, but I think that we need to be thinking more broadly than just IT in terms of application.
So I agree. So I think when I looked at Ukraine, as you're saying, great talent. I would look at the most complex applications they need help with. Ukraine's a great place to go for that innovation. I would not go to Ukraine to just do sustaining engineering, maintenance kind of work. Of course, you can do that in Ukraine. You could do back office work in Ukraine. All those are options you could, of course, go to Ukraine and have great results with. But I would go to Ukraine if I was in your shoes for great innovation, time to market, very smart people across many technologies. Is really how Ukraine shines. And also would comment on the panelists said about how Ukrainian people think about how to build software. So if you go to Ukraine, you're going to get pushback on your product. The Ukrainians are very intelligent, have strong opinions, but it's a really good balance of, I don't want to build that software. I could do it that way, but here's a better suggestion. Other parts of the world don't frame it that way. They might say, okay, sure, I'll do it that way, or really argue back with you, I'm not going to do it, here's why. The balance Ukraine, I feel, is very good if you let them have that balance and you trust them. And that's the key, I would say, for Ukraine. Partnership, I call it the all-in model. You have to be all in. You can't say, my boss told me to go to Ukraine, I'll try. If you hear those words, you're going to fail. You've got to be fully committed and trust them like you would your team here in the US as a partnership. And I would never even call it outsourcing. I call it a strategic partnership with companies like ours, or you can go out yourself if you need to. But you have to develop that trust and bond and over-communicate, and you'll get great results.
Brian, you're absolutely right. It is all about partnership. Using the word outsourcing is probably just following a cliche. When you go to Ukraine, you find your solution. Right? If you're looking to build a product, if you're looking to solve a world problem, a global problem, you come to Ukraine because the team that you get is the team that you're going to deliver with. Right? These people want to solve problems, and they're going to do it with you as your partners. And I have to say that of all the client relationships that I've built over the past 15 years in Ukraine with global companies like Hewlett-Packard, Skype, eBay, all of these people kept coming back because they found partners in these teams. They found brains, which they could pick at any time of day or night without any complaint. And they keep on coming back for that. And they recommend them to other companies. I think most of us will agree that the best part of the sales model for a Ukrainian company is that we get more referrals and recommendations than we ever have to make cold calls, because people keep on coming back. And you know this, especially in this community where people move from company to company, from company to startup. When they move to a new startup, the first thing they say is, I need a partner. I don't have an engineering team. I need an engineering team. Where am I going to get one? It's going to take me 3-4 months to build it here. I can go partner with Ukraine. And that's really what happens these days, is they go out and they partner with the team in Ukraine, and they tell their friends, and they tell their friends, and so forth and so on, and all of a sudden everybody's in Ukraine. And that's what we want.
Yeah, one of the consequences, what we have seen is that Ukraine, as everybody know, there are corruption, there are other things. And the amount of foreign investments over the history of Ukraine has been pretty poor. And I don't really think that this situation we have had the last year is helping that. I think that, to tell the truth, it's going to be going a little uphill to really get investments into Ukraine when we talk about building new businesses down there. One area, however, is going to be pretty immune to this is the IT services sector, which we are in. Every Ukrainian who will be able to code will have a job. It's pretty much a job security. You don't have to actually invite investors to come to Ukraine, because if the programs are there, believe me, they will come. So what we're going to see here is going forward is that I believe in the philosophy of brain basket, that we're going to see another 100,000 Ukrainians joining the IT business before 2020. I have seen American think tanks saying that they're going to lack 1 million programmers by 2020. So whatever worries anybody have about Ukraine, they will have to get over it, because they're going to need the Ukrainians.
Literally, I see our countdown here. So if Sam, do you have a quick 30 seconds?
I just say real quick. I just totally agree with this. There was just one comment about the partnership part, which is really share with them your problem. Because about the partnership, they feel like part of a team. We have a rotation program because we actually want the people to actually see them and work with them as well. But the key thing is when they actually start to understand the business problem, because they feel this is their problem, they're not going to be, this is just a job, and so this is not the way how it works. They're going to feel like they're part of your team, part of your startup, part of your product company, whatever it is, they will do that. I'm being very serious about that. So share with them that problem. Don't just say, this is it, that's all you need to do, spoon feed it, that's all you have to do. Work with them, understand what the problem is. You get 10 times what you expect out of that relationship. So.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, is that it's an ownership thing, right? When you get a team, when you find a partner in Ukraine, that partner will take ownership with you. They'll co-own your problem, and they'll give you the solution, not the one that you may ask for, but the one that fits, the one that's right for you. And you may argue with them, but in the end, they want what's best for you. And that's what the partnership is built on. And that's why Ukraine is your destination.
In fact, I used to make my tech leads present back to me the value of my product they're working on if they were a salesperson. And I was amazed to see them articulate better than my US-based even sales team on the value of what they were building. If they know the value of what they're building, they can build it and innovate much better. So I would actually challenge everyone here to do a similar with your teams overseas to make them do those kind of activities, and you'll get great rewards.
So gentlemen, I want to thank each of you for helping set the stage for the rest of this conference. And I think, to me, it's very obvious. There's a win-win here. So everybody who works with Ukraine is going to get the value and the benefit out of it. The value equation is very, very apparent. I think, and we're all here also to help Ukraine And the best way, I think, the best way we can help Ukraine is keep giving smart people good work, and that grows the economy, and also grows the culture and the controls that are required over time. So thank you everybody for your attention. Thanks, gentlemen, appreciate your time. Engage with these guys over the course of the next 12 to 18 hours. Good luck.